and time till victory, and then we'll go and join into our second game. We have to wait for all the games to end so that the next round of Swiss starts. So I'm going to hop out here, plop on the overlay, and then I'm just going to restart my client and patch it to include the cap timers. So we have 15-minute games, so the 15 minutes have to end, and then we have like a 5-minute kind of intermission period where teams can move around into different training rooms, and at that point they will start the next round. So we're basically playing a game every 20 minutes for teams involved. Okay. And while that's going on, we'll also be waiting for the results from everyone else. Yes, patch. Okay, we're looking for the countdown timer. Where are you? Has the countdown timer been removed from Aslan's? I can't find it. Well, that's quite frustrating. Oh, I'm about to give up on this. We still have a bit of time before the next one comes up. We'll have a look at the results while we're waiting. So we have our 9 teams, and we've got a kind of a by-round system. So one team doesn't necessarily have a game. So we know, for example, that the Canna group, the Yeah Boy, won that 1-0. Boink, there we go. So that's Stormwind on the ball here, filling in all the details. Nope, I can't find it. Oh well, never mind. Who cares? I don't know what it is. I'm not going to faff around it for it forever. Let's launch our client back up again and find our next game. So while I'm waiting for this to launch back up and we have our next kind of round, we have our signups. So we have our 9 teams. And we have here our format. So as I was saying, we're going to have, if I bring up the schedule here, we're using the schedule system where we're having our Swiss system right now. And we're going to have finished our round 1. And then we're going to have our 5 rounds. So the idea of this is basically to allow everyone who has signed up to have at least a good number of games to play. And five rounds is like a healthy play. You've made the effort to make a team. It's not like a best of 3, 2 games, and you're eliminated from the tournament, you know? So that way you got 5 rounds. And then what we'll do is we'll have a small break. And then we'll go into our semi-final 1, and we'll cover all of that. And then the semi-final, the bronze match will be a best of 1 today. And that's just to give us a 3rd, 4th place winner, not take too long. And it also gives the finalists a break as well to prepare for the finals itself, which is another best of 3. So that's kind of where we are at the moment with that. And I think now we're back in game. So we're looking for results of who took part. I'm going to bring up our good old Discord and see the results. So formerly last minute registration has beaten Always Outgun, Never Outperform, and I will look at who are the members of these teams in a moment. and they have supported results. Yeah boy. Oh, that's the name. Okay, yeah boy is wait, what? I see. Those were the lollies group. They were the ones we watched right now, and they're playing against Canada. I'll show this on the overlay. Hey presto! So that was Yeah Boy that played against Canada. So that was them, and it would also seem that I think we have all our results. Black Sails beat against Most Wanted. Oh, we have our second round. Round 2. Let's see, shall we watch? Die Hard. Watch Die Hard, yeah? Well, here's the question for you. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is it not a Christmas movie? I think we want to watch, let's see, Formula Last Minute Registration, FLMR. So we're going to look for that now. And then we'll go straight into our next one. I'll take that away. Boop. Oh, we need to look who's in what team. I do apologize while that's going up. I think Chrysanthemum is hosting the FMLR room, which will come up in a second. But if we check the sign-ups, so we have Kana, who we saw, and we have Yeaboy, who we also see along here. And today, FLMR, Chrysanthemum, Korn, Mr. Snow, Crank, Yumkai. So basically, viewers of the stream team, we'll secretly not cheer for them. And Rip CV, Mac, The Sheep, Quirt, Malamu, that's a strong team right there. That is a very, very strong team right there. And then we also have Most, and Moo, and Eono. This is going to be interesting. There's some really strong people turning out today. Okay, here we go. So who is our host? The room's up under FLMR versus FPP. And it's Chrysanthemum. So bingo. Ooh, a completely different setup. Are you guys watching this? Check this out. We'll talk about it in a second, assuming he's going to have to add a bot, but we'll go in a brief moment. And they can't change the setup anyway, so we are where we are. Alright. I'm curious what the Bravo team is. Both these teams won their initial engagement, which is why they're here. All right, here we go. Round 2. So round 2 is on Ring. We're playing different maps for every round. And here we have a... What? It's a mirror match! Well, bar the Destroyers. This is interesting because the previous game was double Hiryu Saipans, and here we have a Saipan, Kaga, and Hiryu's. Now, it could be that the previous teams did not have access to the Kaga. But Leon's each, and that's because it's got a lot of firepower and reasonably good AA. It's not too slow. The Jervis is an interesting choice for the British Destroyer, and the Pan-Asian Gajaj Mada. Oh, now this is an interesting choice. There's a lot of strike potential by introducing the Kaga. The weakness of the Kaga is that it only has tier 6 fighters, but if both teams have that, you're going to see real instant deaths. If anyone gets like a good strike, the 12 torps in the Kaga pretty much kills anyone in one go. So this is pretty gnarly stuff. And on the map Ring, the capture points are close. So this is going to be really, really interesting. Team renamed Fara's Discord groupies. Yeah, that's true. Okay, and the bot's not moving, which means I'll need to take a little bit of time to get flooding damage and die off, but we're good. For sake of simplicity, we're going to just go with Team Red and Team Green here. But, you know, we'll see it all. We'll talk about the results at the end. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to zip over and get my camera attached to one of the carriers. Yunkai will do just fine playing the Hear You. Crank playing another Hear You. No, sorry, Yunkai on the Saipan, Crank on the Hear You, and Mr. Snow himself on the Kaga. And wow, okay, so they're actually splitting up somewhat. Perhaps regrouping. Jervis and Chrysanthemum, in the Jervis I should say, rushing right ahead to go to Bravo. And we can see that the defensive fighter line, if I position it this way, is kind of matched up, kind of a line where both of them face each other off. Quick push by the Lionhearted in his Gadage, I'd expect on Alpha, grabbing the Alpha cap, but at the same time, Jervis is grabbing Charlie. So north and south kind of split is kind of we've seen, and the groups are staying relatively close but not that tight. Yunkai takes initial clip probably from the battleship from a plane spot. And the capture time is in the favor of Team Red, with M. Jester, Lionhearted, Grand Prix Rolf, Pura, and NGP, or Kingpin basically, I think that's what it means. Kaga torpedo bombers, very well, easily spotted because there's 12 of them as opposed to 8. Oh, that's a reverse strafe. That he's trying to grab them, but that's a reverse strafe from the Kaga fighter, and that's the Hear You fighter coming in, grabbing the Saipan plane and picks it off. Loses 2 torpedo planes, but kills off a wave of the Kaga fighters. Now the issue with the Kaga fighters is that, sorry, the Saipan fighters is that they have about 4.5 waves, given the numbers they've got. So wiping an enemy plane wave of the Saipan, they still have more total waves, if that makes sense, compared to the others. Now, Yunkai took another chip there at 35,000 health now, so he's a little bit vulnerable on the back end. We also see the dive bombers. These are Hear You dive bombers that have dropped their payload, which is why they're relatively fast. Realistically speaking, only the tier 9 fighter planes from the Saipan can catch them. Because once he passes, he just can't kind of catch up. Now the AA passively from the CV can kind of wound it, but it's basically keeping them spotted for long range Leon shots, so they have to be careful of. Chrysanthemum in the Jervis is trying to torp the smoke out in Bravo, but we see the Gadage Mada has moved into Bravo and is giving a cap advantage for Team Red. Now, with that in mind, what does Fara's Discord groupies do about it? Because they're down on caps, they're slightly down on health-ish. Oh, then again, well, the enemy Leon's taking a bunch of damage as well. But, yeah, no, I tell you what, he's down 13,000 health. It's not an insignificant amount. Now, there's a big line of torpedo bombers on the south side of Bravo, but they're probably waiting for the smoke to end from the Gadaja. The fighters are just kind of, we've shifted over to more of a line now going along east-west. And at the moment, it's just long-range kind of BBHE shots. You missed, and I reversed. Now, we briefly saw that the enemy CV line is staying relatively spaced out as far as we can tell. There's the carrier, sorry, there's the destroyer. He is spotted. He's leaving the cap, getting a couple little cheap shots from the Jervis. Yep, little tickle shots, but he is well fighter escorted. And the Leon is also reasonable. Oh, now that's an optimistic Hear You strafe behind the Saipan fighters who gets clipped. Now, what do? Do they try and reverse strafe? Yep, he turns around reverse strafe, so he punishes the Hear You. And there's another strafe which punishes the Hear You as the Hear You his own teammate. Oh my goodness. You can see why this is chaotic. That's about 4 different strafes all at once. And you can see that the Team Green is trying to dive in on the Garage, and that's what they're doing. But they're going to pay for it. Exit strafing. into the other strafe of the Hiryu. That's double Kaga fighters. That's the Hiryu fighter. The exit strafing of the Saipan doesn't lose a plane. That was that's the other Kaga fighter. That's the Kaga fighter for Team Red. But crucially, and this is the crucial thing, the destroyers. Oh wait, oh, there's more strafes, more friendly strafes. I think Team Green has pulled this out in terms of fire control. There's a lot of friendly fire going on. So these are double Kaga drops. So one lines up the destroyer, and the second one confirms the kill. Now, if he's lucky, he gets a clip. Now this one might work, and this might kill him. Oh, it's enough. Dive bombers can come later, and that's why the Kaga is so fearsome. Now, while this is going on, Chrysanthemum, the Jervis is grabbing Bravo. Leon's going around the corner. There are no dive bombers yet, but that's all it takes to kill the destroyer here. And that is kind of strike groups in a nutshell. Trying to communicate with your teammates while all chaos is going on and all the fighter duels happening is pretty sweet in my opinion. So now Jervis, however, is getting Bravo, and he's reversing, and there's a strafe from two fighters to try and stop. So he dodges, turns around. They don't know where the destroyer is. They've got a smoke cloud. Now they can gamble and drop the torps, but it's only one TB wave, and there's no. But then again, the smoke is about to end, so. But he's got the capture point, and he's now escaping. It's going to be very difficult for this 1 TB wave. Actually, where is... No, I missed the destroyer's death. Apologies, I missed the destroyer's death. And also, I do apologize as well. There's so much going on. We see from the health pool that M. Jester is actually down to a fraction of health as well. There he is. Wow, there's just so much going on. I would have to watch the replay myself. So... what does Team Red do to come back from this? They're down capture point. They're down a huge chunk of carrier health on M. Jester, which means he needs to be babysat. They don't have the destroyer for stealth capping. The Leon probably has to go into Bravo and use his kind of AA aura / health pool to grab the capture point, use AA on hostile planes, and then allow his kind of planes to move up. When you start getting overlapping AA bubbles, though, it gets pretty messy when it comes to kind of defense. Saipan torpedo bomber caught by Saipan and Kaga fighter. That's a Saipan on Kaga. That's an exit strafe. Tried to catch something, does not catch anything. Strafes into Jervis A. Reverse strafe by the other Kaga. Wipes the first Kaga wave. Are we following me here? Are we still catching up? That is the friendly Saipan going on a Kaga fighter plane tier 6. He's backing off, and the Team Red essentially loses that sort of fighter duel drop. Or stalemate-ish, but you know, they were pressuring, but the pressure is now off. Capture point wise, Team Green is getting a healthy lead, and as we say, this is what we were mentioning, the Leon from the red team is going to have to push into Bravo. This is the last effective combat ship, and he doesn't have assistant. Like, he doesn't have any of these CVs too close, but they would be too, easily shot at by the destroyer and Leon. So the destroyer's going to smoke up so he can keep jacking Leon. Now, the Leon can keep moving up, get behind this kind of island cover, but he still has to deal with the enemy Leon of the green team, who has a lot more health. And we can see all of these bombers just waiting for the opportunity to, to strike. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. That is Saipan, Kaga, and Hiryu fighters all diving in Leon. You need to have these fighters over. You can see the planes incoming. This is the drop. You can't stop all of these. It has to be a form of strafes. Okay, so first off, incoming is there's a strafe. There's a trying to dodge. In come the dive bombers now. I'm just trying to back out and see this. So we see another strafe. But the friendly strafe kind of wounds him, so he stops the dive bombers, maybe takes a torp. No, here comes the Kaga ones. These are the huge ones. Here you exit strafes out of it. Is he trying to glib? Oh, that's a massive save. Only 2 torps in the water from what was 12. However, another 4 torps from the Hiryu on the other side. It's still a powerful cross tip. Oof. Leon goes down. Friendly fighters tried to do something about that, but at the same time, red team's carriers is now coming in. They're trying to get the Jervis. While all the fighter control was in the center, there is a small opportunity of time here with these 4 torpedo squads. Well, now 3. There was a panic effect by the plane. He can't. Oh, that's a cross drop if ever. There's 1 torp. There's 2 torp. Is he gonna get 3? Oh, So the destroyer goes down. He's not near his friendly battleship. He's not near the carriers. All the fighter dual wing was to get rid of the battleship, and that was one heck of a carrier strike to get rid of the destroyer. It does somewhat maybe bring back the red team here, but you know, the M-Jester are still critical, and the next strike coming from the green team is where we're going to have an issue where they will probably hunt out the wounded Hiryu. And it's also going to come now at this stage of the game, this crucial last 5 minutes, who has the last fighter planes? Who has the reserves to keep up an effective air cover, air denial, and bomber escort, and bomber denial? So we can see there's still full bomber planes, and they're racing out now from the Saipan, and this is the Hiryu's torpedo bomber, and we see this is now the Kaga's torpedo bombers taking off. The Team Green's carriers relatively close together, all fine in health. Capture point is in the favor of the green team, so the red team has no other option but to push closer, but they're only pushing with their healthy carriers, and they need to somehow prevent themselves being bombed and also push the Leon to get a kill and get past, you know, the enemy fighter screen. M-Jester's pushing up as well. He's kind of spotted by the Hiryu fireplane. Is that what the shots are going for? No, he's actually firing on the Saipan. Maybe the Hiryu's just out of range for our Team Green's Leon. We got Saipans diving in on the Leon. Oh, he pulled away. That's a strafe. He's going to try and strafe him, I think. No, he's still trying. Yep, there is strafe. He's going to dodge. No, he's just left click. He's just left click. So we got the first 2 torps on the Leon. Thing is, with damage control party, you can but oh, you might even dodge that. Nope, takes the torp in the tail. Is he flooding? From what we can tell, he is not flooding. More Ichi shots. It could be a battleship shot on M-Jester. Oh, that ends the game. Oh, wow. Well, congratulations to, I believe that was formerly last minute registration. Yes, that was against Pingu's first fly. So Team Red was Pingu's first fly, and Team Green was formerly last minute registration, and formerly last minute registration wins. Hooray! For